Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things that I have learned as I have grown into the person that I am today. And I haven't made a video over here in a couple days, so I wanted to sit down, even though it's already dark outside. It's getting so dark, so early in Indianapolis. It is currently 7:19 p.m. and it is like pitch black outside. And it feels like it's like 10 or 11 o'clock at night. But I wanted to sit down and do a meditation video over here today. I brought one book with me because this is like slowly turning into my favorite meditation book, and that is Meditations for Living in Balance, Daily Solutions for People Who Do Too Much by Ann Wilson Chef. And I really, it's S-C-H-A-E-F, and I really like this book. I don't know what the meditation for today says, so if we get through it really quickly, or if I get through it really quickly, I might read one from yesterday or the day before, since I haven't. Where's my glasses? Oh, here they are. Since I haven't read one over here in a couple days. So let's get into today's meditation. It is November 22nd. I cannot believe that before we know it, it'll be at the beginning of the new year, you know, and then it'll be summer again, and the seasons. Okay, November 22nd, expediency. The immediate is often the enemy of the ultimate. Indira Gandhi. We suffer from the disease of expediency, the quest to find the shortcut, the fastest way, the most convenient approach has become an obsession, especially for busy people. We are in constant search of the gimmick or trick that will give us an advantage. To do so is deemed smart and savvy. We content ourselves with a stopgap measure and manage with a makeshift. We pride ourselves on getting the job done and lose sight of how we have done the job. There are two questions we need to ask ourselves when we settle for the expedient. One, do we feel good about ourselves and what we have accomplished when we have operated this way? Or two, have we lost sight of the ultimate? If our answer is no for the first and yes for the second, we need to take stock. Ultimately, getting the job done may definitely not be more important than how we do it. We feel good when a job is finished. We feel great when we have done it in a way that was pleasant, growth-producing, and fun for everyone involved. And more important, in the process of getting the job finished, do we keep sight of what is significant and ultimate? If we look down the line 100 years, what's really important? Never let expediency be the enemy of the ultimate. Take a look at how you approach tasks. Try to keep the ultimate in mind. And I really like this meditation. I think, you know, for so much of my life, it was really about like, hurry and get this done, and hurry and get that done, and you know, just check off things on my list. And I've talked a lot about my lists on my channel over here, you know. And on my list, I put things like make coffee. So have my coffee for the day, you know, or listen to my audiobook, or do the crossword puzzle. I put things on there that are enjoyable, so that I don't just look at the tasks of the day as things that I have to just cross off and get done, and then another day is done, you know? I don't want to look at the world like that. I want to enjoy the process of how things are you know, working. And I think maybe being in sobriety has slowed down the process for me, because, you know, a lot of the mantras of sobriety, things like, you know, trust the process, enjoy the process, are things that I have heard so often in my life, you know. Has there ever been something that you want and you want it now? Like, I want a partner in life, or I want to get married, or I want this job, or I want to have this dream home, or I want to have this, right? And instead, what it's about is trusting the process, that maybe you'll end up there, maybe you won't, but the process of getting there is more important than just getting it. And, you know, that's why I talk on here a lot about, like, if your dream is, I want to win an Academy Award as an actor or an actress, right? That start off and, like, I don't know, like, audition for community theater, and, you know, maybe you'll never win an Academy Award, but if you trust the process, if you enjoy what you're doing in the whole realm of getting there, maybe you'll meet at the community theater, or maybe just the audition, you know, some of the greatest people you've ever met in your entire life. Maybe you'll make some of the greatest friends you've ever had in your entire life, you know. When you go to school for something, it's like, I can remember getting my master's degree. And while I was in it, and it was 2 years of my life, I thought, this is never going to end. I mean, I was like, in an internship practicum for 1 semester, or 1 year. Well, it was 1 semester, it was 20 hours. And then the next year, it was 40 hours a week, working full time, taking 15 credit hours of classes. And I thought, oh my God, this is just never going to end, And I look back on that experience, and I somehow made it work, by just going to work and I can remember slowing down. It was almost kind of like, like when you're and I like slowed it down, and like if I was at school, I made sure I was enjoying my class that I was sitting in and being present. And when I was in my internship practicum, I would make sure that I was sitting there and being present and enjoying the process, and then I would come home and I would hang out with my boyfriend at the time, or my roommate, my friend, who was my best friend at the time. And, but then, later I would work on a paper that I was writing or whatever. And I look back at that period of my life and I think, God, it felt like I was in it for 10 years, but it was only 2 years of my life because I allowed myself to be present. And I think it's really important to, realize that we're all works in progress, that we're not going to get to where we want to get tomorrow. It's going to take some time. And when you allow yourself that, when you allow yourself to be this work in progress, then there's no sense of perfection, because we're never going to reach perfection anyway. I was talking in my vlog last night about, I don't think anybody on their deathbed looking back goes, well, I learned it all, I finally reached this total state of perfection, of where I have learned every lesson there is to learn. I have mastered every skill there is to, and nobody says that, at the end of their life. And so the reality is, we're never going to finish this learning process that we're in. And when we realize that, when we learn to just accept where we're at and trust the process that we're in, then the cliched statement that the journey is the destination, which I love that. I can remember when it first came out, and I think it was like a Nissan Pathfinder ad. It was like years ago, remember, that it came out, and they took the whole, like, it used to be, it's not the journey, or it's the journey, not the destination. And then they flipped it and they said the journey is the destination. And I loved that when they came out with that, because it's the truth, right? The process of getting to where we want to get to is more important than finally getting there at the end, right? And I love when Oprah says, like, when you've climbed, when you've reached your dream, then it's time to dream a bigger dream. When you reach the top of the mountain, what do? You look down on the mountain you've just climbed, and you climb a bigger mountain. You dream a bigger dream. But it's the process of getting there where we learn so much about I look at the things in my life that I have, succeeded in, or I feel like are successes in my life. And it's very much like Karate Kid, wash on, wash off, wax on, wax off, where it's not really about washing a car or waxing a car. That's what it seems like at the moment. But it's really about the lessons in between that I'm learning to apply my life to that, right? Like, it's really not about the washing or the waxing. It's about, how am I going to take this lesson and apply it greater greater in my life down the road. And it has been the small lessons along the way, right? Like the 4 years that I didn't go to meetings, and when I came back in, I was like a newcomer coming back into meetings, and I learned things like to sit in a meeting and just be present. I learned to suit up and show up. I learned to, to listen to other people, to shut my mouth and listen. And there were all of these like small things that I learned. I really, really learned to just live in today, and one day at a time, which I still apply those things to my life today. So I think that when we trust the process and we realize that it is the journey, not the destination, or that the journey is the destination, then I think that we enjoy life more, but also those lessons that we're learning along the way, we can apply to anything later in life. And I think that's really the purpose and the meaning of life, is to take these skills and these tools and these lessons that we learn along the way and this growth, and to apply it to other aspects of our life down the road. That's a fantastic meditation. Let's read the one from yesterday. It's called Reality Checks. This will be interesting. Okay, November 21st, Reality Checks. I was more and more confused and needed to confirm some sort of reality for myself. It was important for this woman to verify that I had been there. Olga Karatiti. There are times when we just need to make contact with something or someone outside of ourselves to ground us. The airplane tips and we grab the armrests and put our feet solidly on the floor. That is totally me. We have just been a part of a crazy interchange, and we need to ask someone who was also there, am I crazy or was that crazy? We read the newspapers and we find comfort when a friend or spouse mutters, the world's gone nuts. There are times when we just can't do it ourselves. Whatever it is, ultimately we have to do it for ourselves, and we don't always have to do it alone. Even if it is just consensual reality, we find comfort in a shared reality when the ground beneath us is in upheaval. And let's face it, we all have times when the ground beneath us is in upheaval, whether it is the ground of our relationships, the ground of our work, or the ground of our being. We need reality checks. Who are your reality checks? We all need to find people we can trust to be our reality checks, and a spirituality we can trust to be our reality check. Wow, what a powerful meditation. And I'm sitting here as I'm reading it, thinking to myself, who are my reality checks in life? I know like my husband is definitely, a reality check for me. I mean, he's my home. So he's my place that I come to at the end of the day and go on vacation with. And, he's my safe place. My best friend Tanya is also, a reality check for me. She's somebody that I drive around in a car with, late at night, and we talk about the woes of our lives, and, and I'll say, oh, I'm going through this, and she'll say, oh, I am too, or like, oh, this is how I went through it. My sponsor is another person that's like that for me, when I talk to her and I'll share stuff in my life, good and bad, that I'm going through, or lessons I'm learning, or things that, are hard, and she'll say, oh, like, let me tell you about this one time, whatever, and, even things that are just as simple as like last night, Alex and I were putting together our front porch, getting it all decorated for Christmas. And then last night I was talking to my sponsor on the phone, and she said, I have 9 Christmas trees. And, just the shared excitement over decorating for the holidays or for Christmas, I think that's a reality check to see that there are other people that get just as excited about it as you. There's a whole Facebook group at this point that has joined forces, from meeting each other in the comment sections of my vlog, and they call themselves the Vloggerinas, Peter Monn's Vloggerinas. And to go over there and like, I'll just talk in a vlog about, decorating cozy for Christmas, and then it's like all these posts of people sharing that. It's this shared reality check of like, hey, we're all in this together, right? Like, I think, we grow up, and I see this more now than ever before. This sense of competition is instilled in us from a very young age, in athletics and academics, right? Like, who's at the top of their class and who's getting better grades, so that if you get better grades, then you'll get into a better college. And if you get better athletics, you'll make better teams, and you'll get better positions, and you might get a scholarship, and on and on and on. And it's like I think we pit kids against each other from a very young age. It's no longer about do the best that you can in school and work the hardest in it. It's no longer about be the best athlete that you can be, and, and hey, good for you for trying, and it started turning, I would say, like when I was in high school going into college, that's when it started changing a lot. I can remember growing up and kind of like, speaking of mantras, the mantra that, a lot of parents would say to kids and teachers would say to kids is like, maybe you didn't ace the test. Maybe you're not the best, quarterback on the football team, but did you try your hardest? Like that, I think we have forgotten that. We've become a society that's like, how hard did you really try? Like, did you truly try your hardest, There are some things in my life that I just have not been real successful at, that I'm just not like, I realize that's not for me, right? But did I try my best? Damn straight I did. Did I try my hardest in that moment? Absolutely I did, and I think I look back on that and those things were so meaningful to me. But I think that we pit each other against, even in the work world today, it's like so-and-so gets this job and so-and-so gets this job, and what job is, it's like there's competition everywhere, and then it's like you take in social media and who's getting the most likes and the most friends and the most subscribers and the most views on TikTok and all that kind of stuff. And it's like we live in this totally competitive world, right? So it's like reality checks with that is like, listen, do the best you can. Enjoy the process. Enjoy life. These meditations kind of go together a little bit. It's like, enjoy that process. It's not always about being number one, It's not always about, being the best at something. Not all of us can be the best. That's reality. Like, only one of us can be the best in any given situation, right? So when you see that and you go, well, it's not saying don't compete, don't try harder to be the best. Hey, if you're the best in class, or you're the best quarterback, or you're the best soccer player, congratulations to you. That's fantastic. You know, you should take pride in that. But at the same time, we shouldn't be beating ourselves up because we tried our hardest and we're not, you know, and we need to have a reality check and talk to other people in our lives that can share with us, you know, those experiences and say, hey, like, I did my best and this is my life. And they can say you did, you know, and you should take pride in that. I think it's important to have people, not just for reality checks, but people that we check in with, you know, that we talk to and we say, hey, like, this is where I'm at and whatever, you know. So anyway, those were 2 great meditations. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.